Consumed in my mind, can't seem to break away. Lost in time, thinking about better days. Do you ever get used to the pain? 'Cause I don't know if I can do this again. Now you got me wondering why you let me die alone inside. I died for you, I cried for you, I tried for you. Tell me why you left me bleeding. I died for you, I cried for you, I tried for you. Tell me why you left me bleeding. Tell me why you left me bleeding. Died for you, I cried for you, I tried for you. Tell me why you left me bleeding. Lullabies of you still in my head. Someone save me. Bloodshot eyes, can't sleep, I'm rotting in my bed. Even the drugs don't faze me. I don't think you understand. I gave you everything I had when it shit go wrong, and now you got me wondering why you let me die alone inside. I died for you, I cried for you, I tried for you. Tell me why you left me bleeding. I died for you, I cried for you, I tried for you. Tell me why you left me bleeding. I died for you, I cried for you, I tried for you. Tell me why you left me bleeding. I died for you, I cried for you, I tried for you. Tell me why you left me bleeding.
They took my money.
Let's get money, motherfucker. Get money. Get money, motherfucker. Get money. Let's get money, motherfucker. Get money. Get money, motherfucker. Get money. Let's get money, motherfucker. Get money. Get money, motherfucker. Get money. Let's get money, motherfucker. Get money. Get money, motherfucker. Get money. Let's get
Money, motherfuckers, get money.
Let's get money, motherfucker. Get money. Get money, motherfucker. Get money. Let's get money, motherfucker. Get money. Get money, motherfucker. Get money.
Okay, guys, hopefully you can hear me. Let's get this thing started. Is the camera okay? Yeah, camera seems to be all right. Everything is in working conditions. Love it, love it. Okay, here we go. Oh, low latency again. Okay, that's fine. Well, first of all, welcome to the stream. And per usual, we're supposed to start at 8 a.m. EST, just a bit late. That's fine. We'll catch up with the pre-market analysis very soon. This is what we do. Every day I'll be online, streaming live, and you will be looking at my charts right here, which is the Think or Swim chart. I've got a 1 minute chart and a daily chart that I always keep on the main one. And then some news at the bottom and some details on the company on the bottom right. Okay, so that's pretty much always what you will see most of the time. And yeah, and of course my ugly face. I'm just gonna get started in about 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, guys. I'm just preparing everything, make sure everything's working in good order. Once I got that, then yeah, pretty much we shall be ready. Okay. There is the window is a little bit off, isn't it? Okay, let me adjust that, guys. Okay, so to the left, we've got, to do that. To the right, we should be fine. Should be fine. Perfect. Okay, here we go. What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. If you're joining new, this is YB, and we're gonna get started in about a minute or so. Let's go. All right, what are we looking at? Get some liquid. Don't like the pulp. Excuse me. Excusez-moi. S'il vous plaît. All right, so let's have a look at SPY. Okay. So yesterday, okay. All right, so basically, let's go into SPY's analysis, what we're looking for today, what are the levels that we need to watch, and what's the game plan, basically, with the big large cap, and what's the market looking like. So basically, it's still market, if we zoom out a little bit, we are seeing the break of a structure big time. This trend line has been coming from last year, January 2022, I believe. And this has been respecting for most of the year. This is the only time we are seeing a successful break above this trend line and above 400. Now, 400 hasn't really broken the way I want it to break. Basically, 400 got to be broken and then left behind, which means it shouldn't be coming back under it. So it's still around that area trading right now. But we are still seeing the higher lows, sloping trend lines, faster trend line being respected as well. So we're looking medium term uptrend, shorter term uptrend as well. Maybe in the longer term, we are maybe switching to an uptrend, maybe a bull market, if we start to see that 400 hold. The price holds above 400, we might see that coming in the coming weeks or so. We are seeing a lot of potential push to the upside has been quite successful. As you can see, we've got, since this bounce off of this trend line, the trend line was actually created by this bounce. So 1, 2, 3, 4, although the big gap down, it actually reclaimed quite a strong day on that day. So that's the 4th, 5th, 6th day of really solid green days. And which yesterday's red day was expected, to be honest. I was kind of expecting. Yesterday I was also mentioning that we might be seeing some pullback towards the 400s, maybe things like that, which it did. And we are actually seeing it trading around 400s. Now, crucial levels. Again, we cannot ignore 400s, guys. We are still seeing respect from that 400, and we will continue to see that because a lot of eyes on it. And we want to make sure, keep an eye on that one. If it starts to trade above that, and it starts to stay above that, especially after the open, the longer the better, right? Let's say, for example, if we start to see this trading above 400 for about 10-15 minutes, that's a good sign. We might see this pushing to the highs one more time. Or what we can see is the other scenario is, because we had yesterday a weaker day, we might see a continuation to the downside. I mean, that could be the case because remember, we have still yet to break 400 properly. And when I say properly, by that, I mean it needs to be left behind. So right now, as it looks like it wants to attack that 400, it wants to stay above it. Hopefully that's the case. And if it does, it's going to make our decision a little bit easier, which is will be long biased for the day for the big caps, as long as SPY is showing strength. In this case, it is. Now it gaps down quite a bit. Around 6:30 a.m. was the low of the pre-market on SPY. 398.25 was actually the low, but it reclaimed all the way gap fills. Pretty much gap fills, right? So that's also one case scenario that when we see a gap fill, we do tend to have usual direction to the other side. So gap fills and then continues to reverse from that. So we might actually see that. So the second case scenario whereby we might see a weak day might be true in this sense. That's why I'm putting this zone here. It needs to be trading above that and staying above that if we were to consider SPY to be strong. If it's anything under that, I'm thinking we might see the red day more likely than the green day. So that's SPY. As long as we have our situations calculated and we're gonna make sure understand where we are when we're going to be trading them, right? So that 400. Now, low of the pre-market is going to be a good level as well to watch if it does actually drift down. But more importantly, I think 399s will be the first hurdle. And then obviously, if it does start to drift down, we will see the VWAP being the first hurdle, right? Hindrance for it to go down. Once it breaks that, then we have 399s and 398.26. Now, I'm not going to mark that up because it's going to cover my whole screen with markups. I know those levels, and I'll mention that as it comes down. Just remember those are the levels that we're watching. So the VWAP area, 399s and 398.30s, that's the low of the pre-market. Okay? We might see bounces coming from there, even if we start to see that drift down. So that's the second. Third case scenario usually comes with a indecision on the market, basically. Something like an inside day, it could be like a very small narrow range day and things like that. So we did have yesterday quite a bit of a rangy day, not a very big, large, wide range day, but okay day, I would say. So after that, we could see a follow-up of a narrow range day, which could mean very difficult for trend traders. But for scalpers, off of levels will be a godsend. So, three case scenarios on SPY. 3 case. I always consider 3 case or maybe even more, but at least cover what could happen and what you're going to be doing if that happens, so that you're not like, what the hell just happened, right? One is we break that 400 and we stay above it, and that zone breaks, which is 400, 450 zone, right? It stays above this, okay? We need to see the spike trading over 460s right here and staying over that, okay? That's first case scenario, which means we're going to get strength to the upside, okay? We'll be long biased. Short biased is our other case scenario, which is it's already gap filled within the pre-market itself, gaps down and then gap fills. Now we are kind of expecting a bit of a reversal coming down, right? So that's the being short biased on it. But this short biased approach, I probably wouldn't, if I trade this, I don't want to hold on too long. I'll probably scalp away this short bias scenario, unless we start to actually drift down under 399s. In that case, we might hold for longer hold. Anyways, so that's the thing. Third case, as I mentioned, is basically your chop. You know, we could still see we might create intraday levels between maybe 460s, 450s, and 399, or this level here, in between this area here, and it chops around in between that. There's not much we can do as a trend trader on that, so we might have to wait for it to break. So in that case, we will have to wait a long time before we start pulling any trades on the larger caps. That's just SPY. All right, done. Any questions? Hit it away, fire it, before I go to the watch list, cleaning up the watch list, basically. All right, so I'll give a few minutes. Just to make sure I'll keep monitoring. Sometimes it's funny with the stream, man. It's like it somehow disappears or gets disconnected. I wouldn't even notice it, and the audio cuts off, things like that. So just make sure that everything is looking good. Yeah, seems about right. Let's go. Okay, so SPY we talked about. Hopefully you guys are okay with that. And let's talk about the others that we've been watching. CVNA goes crazy. 8. This was the one I missed basically yesterday. For possible swing idea on this one, to be honest. I've been watching this, especially this level 8 level that you can see that my zone there. Which basically yesterday breaks very, very strongly. Like this level here breaks it. Very nice, very beautiful setup as well. Really easy setup to take around this area here. 850s, 850 break, and just a hold. It's just long-term approach, but very, very decent opportunity missed from my side, and I wasn't happy about that, obviously. But now I cannot chase this. It's already done huge ATR, ADR moves. I can't be chasing this right at the highs. So even now we are gapping up from 10s all the way to 1073s. It actually gapped up all the way to 1144. So we are talking at one point trading right there with this level here. So yeah, this one seems quite interesting. Will I keep it on my chart or my list of stocks to watch? Yeah, I mean, it's still in play. It could be that it might actually give us some shorting opportunities because it's slightly extended, not too much to be honest. But even that short is going to be very, very scalping mentality, scalping style shorts. Right now we're seeing some drift off towards the gap fill, which is kind of pretty normal, because from this move onwards, even after a gap up, it looks, I mean, especially after a gap up, it looks quite a bit of extension there. So usually gap starts to fill up usually after the market open. So hopefully that's the case, and in that case we could be taking some few scalps on it. CVNA, BZFD. yesterday, BZFT. I think this one, I also missed this one, I believe. Yeah, I think I missed, yeah, this one, right at the open, I missed to take shorts. This is what I'm talking about, guys. This, we need to understand something, right? When, I did cover this quite a few times ago, but if somebody new is turning up and they want to learn something about the daily chart analysis, well, this is really crucial to understand. Okay, this stock has been moving in an average of 190 to, I'll give you an average, okay, 290, about 30 cents. Okay, so far from here onwards, maybe even less than that. I think I'm just pushing it when I say 30, but maybe it's 20 cents average, especially around here. It's less than 20 cents average daily ATR, or the average daily range ADR. Now, this thing moves from 0.50s all the way to the highs of 420s in 3 days. In fact, in 2 days, right? That's huge. Okay, we're talking $1 all the way to $4. That's 400% move, way more than 400% move at one point. There's bound to be some bigger correction, and this was the day, which was yesterday, that we saw that correction coming in. That's why I was going to take advantage of that. The correction came in quite a bit, which ended up going from 370s all the way to 274s. That's $1 a move for a $3 stock. That's huge, huge percentage move, right? You do the math. Now, it closed very weak, but we are popping towards that 3. On this one, I will keep an eye on it, but I'm not expecting too much to the downside. I'm only going to be taking shorts around the pop to 3s. Okay, if it does pop to 3s and starts to reject, which it's already doing right now, we might look into trading this short on the short side. That's pretty much it. Now on the long side, I'm not too sure, man. I mean, this has to break that pre-market high, which is 330s, this area here. And if that's the case, then we can always put an alert there, just in case if it does decide to actually try to go for the break, then we can be taking advantage of that. Excuse me. So 330 breaks, then we can actually start to look at. Before that, it's just going to be chop and maybe pop, short towards pops might come in before that. Okay. I'll keep this. I'll keep the BZFT. GNS. GNS was the one that I wanted to yesterday, shorted, and I've taken some longs on it as well yesterday. So it was kind of a bit funny looking daily, very unusual. Goes up, way overextended than any of the other ones we saw. This was like 1,000% move up, which it did a pullback off, and it bounces off of 3, and then comes a big massive gap up. I know there was a catalyst, there was some news behind it, yes, for sure, but I think the catalyst wasn't as strong as this much of a move from 4s all the way to the gap of 560s, and then continues to go grind up to the highs of 727s. So that was big, right? Now, it's a better one. Will I keep this on my chart? Why is my turn 9 not working? Anyways, so will I keep it? Yeah, for sure, 100%. I'm gonna keep it because there's a play in there. There's enough range for me. There's enough daily range, enough intraday range, and enough volume for me to take some opportunities and pounce on the opportunities. Now, I am slightly short biased on it because this pullback, I kind of was expecting it to be a bit lower than it did. So we might see that finally attempt to gap fill, at least gap fill attempt from 490s. I mean, we are seeing a gap up today as well, 529s, 530s, right there. We're actually trading right here now. So from here onwards, all the way to gap fill, which is 420s, is quite a bit of opportunity there, not to be missed. So I'm going to be looking for shorting opportunities on GNS for sure. A lot of shorting opportunities today. Why? It feels like there's a lot of them. Lucid is yesterday done a really nice pullback for a. I'm waiting on this to do some decent pullback, which is already doing 1140. This is where it's trading now. If it does come down to 10s or 1050s, I'm gonna dip buy this thing for possible swing ideas for long term. But that's a different story. I'm gonna keep it for a swing idea, not keep it on the day trading watch list. SPY we talked about. Mara, again, I keep it just in case if Bitcoin starts to go for it. All right. So, I mean, we did see some nice rejection from 9s, 3 days of red. We might actually see some pop coming in now, which we are already seeing some sign of strength on the gap because of the gap, right? So not too crazy about Mara. If you're looking at Bitcoin, Mara, Riot Coin, you can track them if you want. W. This is the one I was watching for possible shorting opportunities, I believe. Yeah, yesterday I was watching this, but I didn't trade it because I was trading something else, but it did provide some really, really decent move. Very beautiful. I mean, the entries were really, really quite quick. You had to be quick on this one. I probably wouldn't have been able to get in full position on that, but nevertheless, from 60 50s all the way to 57 30s, huge move down. That would have been a great trade if I hadn't missed that. Of course, I had to miss it. So now W, I probably will be looking again. I feel like I'm short biased mostly today, and I just don't see strength coming back from this kind of red day. There's got to be a follow through from after this day. There was some strength that dip buying came in here, or could have been a profit taking from this, right? But it's still weak. So we have to look at and pay attention to the current price action, which is basically yesterday being red and weak looking. We might see some follow through after that, which is to the downside. That's why I'm being more short biased. We'll see. It might work out, might not. But that's the plan with it. Now, why am I not talking about to the long side on those? Well, because on this one, if you look at this, a move from 40s all the way to 65 is a big move, right? And we barely had any pullback. So I'm thinking we will see some sort of a pullback towards 55s, maybe even towards 53s. And that's what I am looking at. Now, if it does start to I haven't seen a stock, and this is very rare, guys. I'm just talking from my experience. I haven't seen a stock do a nice little move up and then have a one red day and then continue to the upside. Usually pullbacks come in few sessions. When I say few sessions, few days in this case, right? So we might see another red day, or maybe 2-3 red days, small red days that pulls back to these areas that I was expecting, right? So mean reversion is due on this one. It hasn't happened. If you don't know what mean reversion is, you can look it up online, Google it. So now, that's what I'm mostly. I mean, I'm not even looking for longs on this. If it starts to run, then that's fine. I mean, I'm gonna miss it. Purely fine with me, because I can't risk. GNS, we talked about that, and it's gapping up. We'll keep it on the gap up actually. GNS is every single day it's been on gap up list, which is crazy. Now GMVD yesterday gaps up quite a bit, and this is the one I was talking about, guys. Be careful if you're going to take long on this one. Why? Because every single time it actually moves a certain amount of you can clearly see, guys, this is history written all over it, right? Pops towards, it goes from 7s all the way to 12s and drops that day back to the mean. This day here could be that reverse split day, but again, goes up to 9s, 850s, comes back down, even worse, like it actually closes way under. What's up, Rancor? How's it going, man? Yes, I know Forex. I used to trade quite a number of years, actually. I used to trade Forex a lot. I actually started with Forex. And then this basically goes this day. You know, it's written there, guys, completely. Like, it's just saying to, you know what, yes, I do pop, but I do get shorted very, very heavily. So this is what I was mentioning to you yesterday. It's going to pop. As soon as it pops, especially around 7s, it's going to get heavily shorted, which it did yesterday, right? Heavily shorted. Look at this candle, guys. Look at this candle. It pops. And actually, in fact, that halts to the upside, and then continues to hit that 718s, and then heavy short selling comes in, halts down, comes down, and never looks back. So very, very to the tick of my analysis yesterday, if you were paying attention on this specific one. There was a lot of opportunities on this. So now today, it could be anything. The issue here is that it's popped up and then shown a red day, weak day, and then we might actually see a continuation to the downside. So again, we could see short opportunities on this one. And I know I'm saying a lot of shorting opportunities, but that's fine. That's probably the environment that my watch list is on, which is okay, which is perfectly fine. I'm actually a really good short sell trader rather than the long term. Rather than the long bias trader. I do really well with the swing to the long side. I only swing to the long side, so that's a different story. Yeah, what's up, Rancor? Welcome to the stream. Sorry, man, I'm just doing my analysis. I'll get back to your questions. If you do have any questions, just pop in there. I'll always get back to it, okay? I'm just creating my watch list for the day, what I'm going to trade, and why and how I'm going to trade them. As those are the questions that need to be answered. So we've got CVNA, BZFD, Tesla, GMVD, and W. That's already. Did we have a look at Tesla? We didn't have a look at Tesla. All right, so there we go, guys. So this is what I'm talking about. Like even stocks like Tesla, especially stocks like big stocks like Tesla, Apple. When we see extension, guys, just expect a mean reversion. Okay, expect a mean reversion. Look at this big red day yesterday, right? We did actually trade this short right here, short, and then I actually trade this long and benefited from both of them, right? I actually had a good trade short side, good trade long side as well, but it started to fail off, right? So after this trade, I was gone anyways. I was done for the day, and I don't usually trade after that. But look at what it is. Did slow drift down, very weak, ended up being very weak, and today also gapping down. Okay, so Tesla, I think we might still see some weakness coming into this, but this gap down could have that attempt to gap fill. Okay, so our gap fill area is around this area, so that's the level we should be watching on Tesla, very, very close. We are seeing 166.40s all the way to 166.66s, 20 cents, 30 cents a zone. If it pops towards that area, then if it starts to reject from it, especially SPY rejecting from a level, that could give us a hint that Tesla might have tired its move to the upside, and now maybe reversal is due. All right, so that's Tesla's plan. Now, again, this Tesla's plan ties up with the SPY's plan. If you haven't really checked, or if you were not here when I was talking about SPY, you can go back to the stream in the beginning. I talked about SPY, what my plans are, what the 3 case scenarios that I'm expecting from SPY, and how I'm going to get ready for it. Very clear. You got to make your situation as clear as you can, so that when you're about to pull the trigger, you don't ask questions, you just pull. A lot of people actually get confused at when they're trading because they don't have proper preparation and proper mindset set when they are about to pull the trigger. So this kind of approach will definitely help you guys if you do pay attention. Right. So let's have a look at the our screeners. We do have CVNA, of course. BBAI yesterday moved 60 million volume. BBAI, Big Bear AI Holdings. Okay. I did also mention, guys, about AI BBAI. Anything that has AI on it is moving. So that's a really, really hot sector at this point, and it's going to be hot for the next. I think it's going to be on and off. You know, it might be hot for a long time, longer than you anticipate. So this is the sector that you need to watch, which is the AI sector, especially with the GPT being on everybody's mouth. Every single person knows about it. That goes to show that, you know, AI, anything to do with AI is picking up. And yesterday we had something that moved actually. BuzzFeed was one of them. And it gaps up huge, but it ended up being red. But this one seems to be holding up strongly. But I'm not too sure if it's AI and AI related. Is in the name. Might not be, but we saw that from BuzzFeed. BBAI. This is definitely in play. We're going to keep this on the watch list. It's above 3, which I like to see, and it's moved up quite a bit with really decent volume, actually. Way more average. Average volume on this thing is about, what, 5 million, 4 million? We saw actually 58, 60 million volume yesterday with a decent range. Goes from 250s all the way to 411s. Very, very strong. So we're going to keep that for sure. BBAI on my list for sure. Okay, so we got 2 up. CVNA we already have. I'm catching CVNA on all of my scanners. Sophie. Sophie gaps up. Sophie gaps up. Is that earnings? I believe it's earnings, right? Earnings gap up? Yeah, I believe it's earnings gap because I remember Sophie was due for earnings yesterday. Yes, that's it. So yesterday pre-market it releases earnings report. Yeah, earnings beat, definitely earnings beat, but not by huge. Yeah, it's kind of okay as well. Yeah, percentage-wise, if you look at it, it's a good beat. But it had been very, very difficult, as you can see. But today could be an easier one to catch. So I'm keeping this just in case if we catch that move to the upside, because we have a gap up that didn't close the gap and staying kind of strong. So Sophie goes to the list. Okay. HSCS. Whoa, what happened to that? HSCS. This is interesting, guys. HSCS. Why is this? Okay, well, there's an upgrade on the stock, so I don't know. I mean, this could be a pump, guys. HSCS. We've got a healthcare. It could be a biotech as well. 8 million shares outstanding. So yeah, I mean, this could easily be pumped, guys. I'm not too sure if I'm going to be taking or looking for longs on this one. Honestly, if anything, I want to short this, but it's going to be very expensive to short anyways, which I'll check. HSCS, possible maybe shorting opportunities, but I'll also be very, very careful with these ones because it can be highly manipulated. It can be pumped easily. We might see another squeeze coming in, another day of squeeze. These things usually do that. Look at this. Look at this squeeze, right? These things can squeeze, but we are actually at this level here, which is 250 here. This level is very strong, and also we got a level that's on 3. Just before 3. In fact, that's where it is. So this whole area, actually, surprisingly, is a big level. So if it here's what I'm going to do with this one. I'm going to keep it on my watch list, but I'm not going to actually tell you guys whether I trade or not. If I trade, I'm going to be trading it on the side, because these ones can be very, very, very dangerous. If I start mentioning these things, oh, I'm going to be taking this and that, people start to follow, and then they get in trouble when the stocks does a rug pull or something like that, have a very quick parabolic move or a very quick wash. They are not ready for it. But when I trade these things, I'm constantly watching tape, level 2 market data, and all that. Anything that really gives me a slight clue that is actually weakening or strengthening against me, and then I'll come out of it very quickly without a second hesitation. That is usually how it works. And if you're not very experienced about these things, do not trade these at all. Do not look at them. Just trade the bigger caps, larger caps if you can. So I'm going to keep this in the watch list, but just understand that this is something that can be very difficult. HSCS. All right. Getting there, guys. Ape. Ape has been moving lately. Ape is AMC Entertainment Holding, so yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know about this one. Theatrical exhibition operations in Saudi Arabia. AMC Entertainment will translate. Okay. Well, that's probably a good news for them if they could do that in Saudi Arabia. Management and role to a pure licensing relationship with Saudi cinema company. Okay. Very interesting, guys. This seems to be very interesting. I'm not gonna lie. It looks very, very interesting. So Ape's catalyst is not too bad, to be honest. So I'm gonna keep that Ape. Why I can't even write now. So Ape has been beaten down, and it starts to gain some momentum right about 22 of December, well, end of December, end of the year basically, and start to gain some traction after that. Break of 2 was yesterday, and it actually closed up nice and strong. But just not too sure about the volume. I'm going to leave it. Although there's some nice news behind it. But what's up, buddy? Yo. Snicker, what's up? Welcome, buddy. What happened? You woke up late? Okay. The weather is going to have you over. Okay, that's fine. I totally get it. If it happens. So sit back, relax, chill. Let us do the trading. And where were we? So we were looking at Ape, don't like it. BBBY, not liking it. BBAI, we put it already on the IQ. IQ is one of those that was a swing idea that I actually missed. So I don't want to chase it. There could be a second day continuation on it. Honestly, they could be actually. There definitely could be second day continuation. We had a 14 million volume. Quite a lot of stocks as well that I'm watching today. I don't want to be. It's quite strong. It looks very strong. We might see continuation to the upside, but it's not going to be as strong as yesterday, obviously. It might be smaller day. Yeah. Let's keep this just in case we get this. Maybe today might be a narrow range day on this one, but tomorrow or next coming few days, we might see more opportunities on this one to the long side. It is strong. The stock is quite strong, as you can see. It's been strong since this is last earnings, and it just keeps on chugging along, breaking every single level. 4 level was quite huge here. There was opportunities on this one I missed on the break of the 4. I was actually mentioning this on the stream as well, and I completely missed it, and that would have been a really, really decent move up. And 6 break was also yesterday. That was a good opportunity missed. I actually have this on my swing list. I still have that on the swing list. Yesterday, completely missed. So IQ. All right. Paradise, CVNA, BPAI. Okay, we got that already on the list. Down days. We've had Tesla that was down, Lucid that was down, Neo. All the EVs were down. Nvidia was big down. Obviously, the SPY was down as well. BZFT, more of them. BZFT is we have Rivian, of course. AMC down. Lu, Baba, XPV. Okay. Short squeeze. Nothing there. Red of the para, Lucid, and BZFD. We already have those in our watch. All right, let's look at our pre-market gappers. So MSGM, guys, MSGM is gapping up, looking quite a decent one right there, guys. Look at this bad boy. Ooh, beautiful trend line here, as you can see. So now, very interesting. It does a reverse split 1 to 10 over here, and then does nothing basically. What's the news on this one? Anybody knows? Put the volume down. Oh. What's the news? What's the news? If there's no strong catalyst on this one, I feel like I want to short it right about under 8. This could be one of the pre-market shorts. It looks interesting, to be honest. I'm really tempted to short this thing. What is up with this? Monday, a debt for equity exchange with Motorsport Network investors. Purchase of 300 shares of Motorsports Games. Oh, okay. All right. At the average price of 2.95. All right. So is this a pump? Sounds like a pump to me. 1 minute bet on Motorsport Games. Check out the 4 penny stocks insider are buying. Okay. Well, this is definitely a this is definitely a pump, right? There's got to be a pump. I mean, yes, okay. Okay, this guy buys it. All right, here's the thing. Motorsport Games shares up 120%, right? Pre-market. Company announced Monday a debt for equity exchange with Motorsport Network. Investor Mike Zoe reported purchase of 339,000 shares of Motorsports Games at the price of $2.953. Very good, right? As he's taken he's taken right here. So now, if I was an investor or if I was a trader, right? If I've taken some decent amount of shares at 3 and it's trading at 8, what do I do? Right? What do I do? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be starting to sell. I'm going to start to slowly sell just in case people don't really sort of understand what's going on. So I believe this profit taking might have come in here and then more profit taking come in. Finally, there will not be any more buyers left and there will be more profit taking might be still in play, and then finally we'll decide to fade off. So that's why I kind of feel like this is a pump, but the first day of pump could be a very deadly one as well to short. Interesting. I'm gonna keep this MSGM. Other gappers I'm not too really keen on actually. $24 million shares outstanding on GNS and 1 point. Okay, it's not a very low. It's not low float actually. It's actually not a low float on MSGM. I'm looking at 1 billion shares outstanding on MSGN. LAC gapping up. Right, LAC gapping up nicely. 24 is where it's trading. It's actually coming back down from the 200 EMA. and we are slowly drifting down to gap fill. I don't. I'll keep it. I'll keep it because I don't have much of gappers at this point. 135 million, so it's not a low floater, of course. Yeah. I don't like the volume on it. We've got 914 million. It should be more than a million volume for it. Yeah. I mean, it's still good. It's not that bad. The other gapper that we have, MSGM, has got about 6 million compared to LAC. But we are talking in a sense where MSGM is $2.63 stock, and this one LAC is at $22 stock. So that's the difference. In fact, this one is traded in dollar amount more than that. So who am I to say that it's actually traded less? You know what I mean? All right, so that's pretty much it for the gappers, guys. Oh, hailing. Oh, what's the weather like over there, buddy? Hailing over there. Why? Is that so bad? So we are seeing on MSGM nice little respect of that trend line, as you can see. Bouncer off of it, but I feel like I want to short this thing. All right, let me just get my things ready on this bad boy. I might short it all pre-market. So hold on, guys. Hold on. Hold your horses. There we go. Regains full compliance with NASDAQ listing rules. Okay, all right. That might change something. I've just received the news that MSGM is compliant with the NASDAQ listing rules. So it's basically ready to be listed in NASDAQ. MSCM, because of this gap, obviously. So that might change things, but I will still want to short this thing. I still want to short it. Give me some shorts on this. MSGM. MSGM. Let's have a look. Oh, it's expensive, bro. Expensive. 30 cents to borrow this, guys. 30 cents. No, I'm not going to do that, guys. I mean, this is going to be... I ain't borrowing that shit. Okay. Well, leave it alone. We ain't going to trade this thing. Unless we look for the long side. I'm not going to be able to short this, because if I'm paying 30 cents a share, freaking hell, that's $30, 100, and 1,000 shares, about 300. No way. It's just dumb. This is probably one of the most expensive share borrows I've seen. Crazy borrows, bro. Okay, I think we've got enough list, quite a big list actually today, but just keep it very short. If you are a large cap trader, just concentrate on few, just like Sneaker does. A few lists he creates, levels he creates, and just watches that and waits for it. That's it. Great way to actually start trading that way. Teaches you how to be patient and letting basically market tell you what it's going to do instead of just chasing things. Oh shit, this is that, right? You want to make sure that you wait for your levels or your areas of interest, point of interest, what I call POIs, and just deal with that stock or specific stock there and then, not before, not after. Let's go.